I actually think the performances are quite good because they have to carry the movie, right? Because it's certainly not the special effects. Special effects are just a fog machine and a torch. Everything else is carried by the performance, and we have to care about these characters, and a lot of it is just Stevie talking into a microphone, right? Like she has to carry a lot of the atmosphere just with her voice. The number one important thing about a movie is a script and good actors to sell the script, right? Because this movie had to rely on the actors carrying the plot and the atmosphere and the emotion. Like there's like two shots, like with the glowing red eyes, where the ghost pirates are pretty cool, but otherwise they're just dudes in shadow. It's kind of all there is to them, and there's not a lot for like not a lot in terms of spectacle, right? So it's all mood, it's all atmosphere.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I do agree, like as I'm saying, like the gradual build of darkness in this film in comparison to any other like ghost movies, it's done very good. Because like I said, the other movies it just jump straight into it, but this
And
one,
it also stays at zero for a long time, and
yeah,
then suddenly goes to no ghosts.
yeah,
And here it's like very slowly. We get some initial attacks, and we get some hauntings, and we get some mysteries,
mm,
and then clues start coming together, and people start acting on it. But there's no real evidence yet. But people are kind of aware that something is going on, and
yeah.
so when it does happen, they kind of have an idea of what they need to do. Yeah, so I think on that front, it's better than most. I think we've kind of touched on the special effects a little bit, and I think it's undeniable that they're just cheap, right?
But they were pretty cool though.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know,
it's
like
like it's like
it's cheap, but it
just
was
some
effective.
fog and with some backlights. They just had to work with a really minimum budget, right? Like budget for this was $1 million in 1980, and that was low by 1980 standards. And they make the most out of their locations, and I think that's why we get a lot of like shots of the town, like just building the atmosphere. A lot of the money then goes into the couple of shots where we actually see the sailors. Like this is one of those examples where constraints breed creativity, where like this actually ties into like one of my big problems with like big CGI spectacles today, where the philosophy is you can fix anything in post, which is true, but then you don't have to think about what you are depicting, right? You don't have to be careful about your shots. You kind of just do whatever and then piece it together afterwards. And Carpenter, like when making this movie, had to be very careful about where to put his money, right, for maximum effect. They had to be very deliberate. Okay, where do we put these shots, and how many can we afford, and how can we get the most out of the few that we afford? That just leads to better filmmaking, not necessarily because it looks better in the end, because this doesn't look good, but it means you have everything becomes deliberate. It's all very careful, deliberate, thoughtful. Everything is thought about. They had to think about what's important, what isn't, what can we cut, and what do we have to spend money and time on. So I think that's kind of an example of this, where I think for its budget and for its constraints, it gets maximum effect out of what little it had. For that reason, I don't care how good it looks or how bad it looks. It just, like, I can see the effort, I can see the intention, and the actors are selling me on the reality of this.